American coronavirus cases move past 1 million. That's nearly a third of the global total. A third of all deaths linked to coronavirus in England and Wales are now happening in care homes. British Airways warns that 12,000 jobs could be lost as the demand for air travel collapses. France plans to ease its lockdown from next month, but masks will remain a way of life. And understanding immunity, we have a special report on one of the major questions about Covid-19. Scotland has become the latest place to advise the public to wear masks in areas where social distancing is difficult, such as shops and on public transport. The UK government has yet to announce its decision on masks, but the Health Secretary said use was based on weak science. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez has outlined a 4-phase withdrawal from one of Europe's strictest lockdowns, with the aim of getting back to something like normality by the end of June. Social distancing will remain, but schools won't reopen until September. President Putin says the peak of the coronavirus outbreak in Russia hasn't yet been reached, and he's extending the lockdown until May the 12th. He said the spread had been slowed, but warned of the risk of acting too quickly to lift restrictions. So far, there have been 867 recorded deaths. The number of dead from the pandemic in Brazil has now passed 5,000. It's the worst affected country in South America, with infections close to 72,000. President Jair Bolsonaro has criticised the restrictions imposed by state governors to try to slow the spread of the virus. The captain of a British nuclear-powered submarine has been relieved of his duties for allowing his crew to hold a barbecue during a lockdown at a Plymouth dockyard. A Royal Navy investigation found that Commander Jonathan Lewis had made several errors of judgment. British Airways is set to make up to 12,000 workers redundant because of the plunge in demand for air travel caused by the pandemic. Its parent company, IAG, predicts it'll be several years until passenger numbers return to the level seen last year. Our transport correspondent Tom Burridge has this.
Parked up for weeks, but no one knows when they'll be flying again. Tonight, British Airways' parent company announced plans to lay off up to 12,000 staff. That's more than a quarter of its entire workforce.
France is set to ease lockdown measures from the middle of next month. Schools and shops will begin reopening and people can travel within 100 kilometres of their home. But that depends on infection rates remaining low. China has insisted it shouldn't be blamed for the Covid-19 outbreak and has suffered along with the rest of the world during the pandemic. President Trump has made it clear he feels Beijing should have done more when the virus first emerged. But speaking on the BBC's Hard Talk programme, China's ambassador to London said it was the virus rather than the country which the US should be targeting.